We'd like to thank all of you for being here this evening. This is year 3, our best year so far. We have 16 teams, 16 sponsors, and an award sponsor added to the prize fund. $17,000 this year. You will be voting for a prize fund roughly at $57,200, the largest prize fund in West Virginia history. We'd like to thank all of you for supporting the league. Practice will start in 3 minutes. The bowling shirts should be here within the next 2 weeks. They have been ordered. If anybody knows of a team or a team member that hasn't ordered a shirt, you should check with Brandon or Justin to make sure your team is covered. We'd like to get the shirts on ASAP because we're going to be live streaming weekly, and we want to give our sponsors as much advertising as we can. Before we start, we have some USBC awards we're going to hand out. Charlie Wolf and Tyler Church. If you want to come up here, you've got some awards from USBC. Dave Dalton, CJ Mann all have awards. Okay, when your legs come on, you're going to have 10 minutes of practice. Please hold up at the end of your practice. Okay, Mikey, crank them up. please. Okay, we want to wish all of you a lot of good luck this season. And when your scoring units come up, you may start your league play. And as usual, I want to wish you a lot of good luck and good bowling.
Okay, we'd like to welcome all of you this evening, those of you that are watching. My name is Larry Lichstein, and I'll be calling the action of the Morgantown Scratch Classic. Tonight is our first night of a 36-week season. We have 16 teams, 4 bowlers on each team, 64 bowlers bowling this evening, and we are bowling for a prize fund this year of right at $57,000. The way the league works is we have 4 9-week segments. We have 6 position rounds during the year. We have a champion crowned every 9 weeks. We start the next segment over, but we also keep year-to-date points. So at the end of the season, it's conceivable we could have 4 9-week winners. The team with the highest amount of points is seeded number 1 in a 5-team roll-off, 2, 3, and 4. And then the 5th team is the wild card team, the team with the most amount of points that never won a segment. We have 17 league sponsors, and we are grateful to all of them. As you can see their names coming across the screen. Some very dear friends of mine in the industry that believe in scratch bowling have helped us form this league, and we hope it's the model for scratch leagues across the United States. Here in Morgantown, it's very important for us here at Suburban Lanes to support scratch bowling as well as all forms of the game, recreational, handicap, senior, junior. We want bowlers and seats. Tonight we're going to be live streaming several pair of lanes. The feature pair in front of us on lanes 15 and 16 has the easiest viewing for all of us. We are bowling on a 40-foot pattern. A little bit of hold in the middle, not a lot. They do break early. There is some transition. Multiple angles can be played. It's not a sport shot. It's not a challenge shot. It's our own 40-foot pattern. This is the 3rd year of the Morgantown Scratch Classic here at Suburban Lanes, and of course we want to thank our owners, Jerry and Steve and Greg Lorenz, for supporting scratch bowling here in Morgantown, the home of the Mountaineers. This weekend we have our first home game coming to the stadium, which is about a half a mile from the bowl. There'll be 65,000 fans at the game. This bowling center will be full. Our 4 restaurants will be full all day. The bowling center will be full. A lot of action here for a small town. That's why I'm here. I like the action. On lane 13, you just saw a ripped rack from a beautiful young lady named Amanda Green. Amanda Green won a PWBA tournament a few years ago in 2015. She just moved here to Morgantown. She's going to the West Virginia Law School, so we have a woman national tour champion in our league. Brian Robinson just won a regional about 2 months ago, so we have a PBA regional champion in the league. And really a lot of fine local bowlers. Chad Gable's in the league, the owner of a bowling center in Cumberland, and Royal Oak. And last year he finished second in the Peterson Classic. He bowls with Adam Barta. This year he watched Adam Barta win the Peterson. So we've got some great bowlers in our league. We're very proud of them. And we're looking for a very exciting season. The way the format of the league works is we have an A, B, C, and D bowler. The A bowler's average is 215 and over. B and C are 200 to 214.999. D is under 200, and we have an 845 cap. So there is a cap in the league. We try to have parity. We want the teams fair. We want lots of teams with a chance to win. That's what makes the league so popular. And we're very proud this year to have 16 teams. Year one we had 10. Year two, 14. This year 16. And the reason we only have 16 is there was no more lanes available. There is a league next to us, a ladies league that's been bowling here for 35 years. But if they drop a pair or two, we will fill them. Our goal eventually someday is to have 24 teams of scratch bowling, but we have to respect the other league, and if they dwindle, we'll just add teams. We're thrilled to have 16 scratch teams bowling here. First time this town has seen a scratch league up until 2 years ago for 35 years.
It's still running.
Okay. Two-hand action there from Matt Taylor, young boy, his first year in sanctioned league. Throws a full roller two-handed. About 450 in the rev department. Strong ball. Kid's got a nice touch. Several two-handers in the league. It's becoming quite common. This 40-foot pattern, that first game, the balls are really sparking off the oil. And there is some hole to get in deep enough. Some of the bowlers just don't have their feet and their eyes in the right spot. They're playing way too early in the dry, and the balls are just hooking out of their hand. But if you get in a little, there's some push. I expect the better bowlers to move in and help their teammates out. It's a pretty high-scoring pattern, even though there'll be some transition. I expect pretty good scores on this pattern. We don't really want them so tough that we send everybody home in a basket. That won't work. So they're a little different than a house shot. You got to move around a little, play some carry down, but if you're good enough, shouldn't be any problem. Chris Freeland, our league president on lane 17, just struck. Last year was high average in the league, right at about 231. He really throws it good, and we made him our league president. And just a wonderful young man. Credit to bowling. And he'll be right up there in the high average department this year for the league. I don't see him giving that up. Although there's some bowlers that are definitely capable of out-averaging him. Chad Gable, Brian Robinson, of course, are going to be right there. And as good as Amanda Green throws it, I could see her averaging 2 1/4 plus. With the different patterns, I think the high average for the league will be between 225 and 232, which is a little lower than most scratch leagues, but we like to mix them up a little bit. Make the lanes a little demanding at times. The next pattern's a 49-foot pattern. It starts in week 10. That's going to push everybody to the right, and there's a lot of carry down, and they can get a little squirrely. So we start off with a 40, and then 9 weeks from now we go to a 49. A young boy in lane 17, CJ Mail, really improved in the last couple years. Went from about 180 to about 220. Great game, young kid. And this is his first scratch league. A lot of these bowlers are actually bowling for the first time in a scratch league, some of the younger ones. And they're thrilled because there's no reward here for bad shots. You know, you're not going to get rewarded if you open. And if you miss pins intentionally, it could cost your team a team game or team series or a win or a loss. So you do not want to in any way give up any wood under any circumstance. Every pin counts yearly in this format. So the word's out. You throw pins away, you're going to get told by your team captain, don't do it. Do not cost a team a chance at winning by throwing away pins. We got bowlers in the league tonight bowling from 3 states. We have several bowlers that took the ride over from Cumberland, Maryland. And not the easiest ride in the world in the winter on 68 going west. We've got 3 mountain passes at about 2,800 feet, 6% downgrades. And in the winter, those passes can be treacherous. We've also got bowlers here from Pennsylvania and, of course, West Virginia. And we're honored that they have decided to bowl with us here in Morgantown. Live streaming. Yes, on Facebook. Yes, you're on Facebook right now, even though you don't know it, so be careful. We have our booth set up right outside the restaurant here, so a lot of my friends don't really know we're doing this, but we don't mind. It's a casual sort of show, and we just like the idea that the restaurant's full tonight, which it is, and the bowling center is full, so we want everybody smiling. It's more fun that way. Town's real excited about the first home game coming in Saturday, and usually on Saturdays, at the start of the game, there probably is 350 to 500 people here in the center eating and bowling. We have 4 restaurants, and it's pretty much nonstop. Great place to eat, voted the #1 sports bar in West Virginia. We have Stefano's for fine dining downstairs, 5-star dining, and 3 sports bars here, 24 lanes, and gaming. If you want to go into one of our gaming rooms, you can.
That's where it's at?
No, it's at Morgantown Scratch Classic. Well, let's see here. We still have 1 string going, the first 5. Jimmy Varner on lane 19. His wife and Jimmy coach our kids on Saturdays. Long-time bowling family, and our junior league coaches mean so much to us. They love the kids, and we love them for spending time with our children here in Morgantown. And Jimmy's got the first 6 as a C bowler, so he's carrying the team right now. Justin Malik on lane 16 just signed a local contract for one of the local staff positions with Brunswick. He's also our general manager. My dear friend, we started working here at the same time. He's also an 8th grade school teacher in the daytime, a school teacher for 15 years, and GM's our bowling center in the evening. A wonderful man, my dear buddy. Chris Rowe on lane 15 with the wall shot. Watch Chris Freeland on lane 17. Watch this. Watch the style of this young man here. Great stroke. Just beautiful game. Smooth. Whack. And there it is. Oops. Almost put the kiss of death on him. A lot of 710s in this house. Got loose back ends. A little lower flat gutter than most places. And what'll happen is the carry can be tough in this facility.
Suburban, please look for 50-50 strike ball and split ball. 1750, red ticket, last three numbers, 889. 889. Strike ball is for 1450, blue ticket, 029. 029. Next ticket, 057. 057.
There's a winner on one. Your split ball tonight is worth $16. Pink ticket, last four. 9793. 9793. Next ticket, last four, 9839. 9839.
Shot looks way in. For a lot of the people that aren't striking, they're playing too far out when that ball's jumping high. Very short oil pattern. Look at Amanda Green. Boy, does she stroke the ball great. I'll tell you, she's fantastic. She's going to eat this pattern up. She can play a little farther right than most of the players because she doesn't have a high rev rate, but she's so accurate she never misses. And she had a ring and 10 in the second frame, strike spare, four-bagger. She's going to be a factor against the men in this league, which I was hoping for when I founded the league a few years ago, that we would get some quality women bowlers in it. Some women bowlers that wanted to really find out how good they really were against a strong field. And we do have 3 women in the league and 61 men. But I predict Amanda Green's going to be amongst the high average leaders all year in the league. And we're honored to have her with us. Should be some transition now. Starting to come in, a little more carry down. Ball should start to set up a little more. Usually takes about a game on this short oil pattern, and once it pushes, the score should get higher. There are some teams bowling well over 800 their first four bowlers. But the first game, I think, on this pattern is probably going to be the toughest game. And as they tighten up and you can move a little right or square it up a little, I expect games 2 and 3 to be a little more conducive. The team on 19 and 20 is right now shooting at 15, 20, 54, 60. They're about 60 over the first four. They're probably leading the league right now in pins. Shooting at an 860, 870 pace. Most of the teams are just trying to figure out the pattern. A lot of them haven't bowled on it yet. Try to stay close. Keep your total pins within 60 or 70 if you lose in the first game, and try to pick it up the next two to win team totals. Okay. I've done that my whole life. I've been tripping ever since I was about 7. I've been tripping for 61 years. One of our nice young ladies here, Heather, who works our desk and works a snack bar and is a waitress in a restaurant, just tripped. She's apologizing to me for tripping, and she doesn't realize I trip every time I walk. Morgantown Scratch Classic. Yes.
I've missed my actually. I love them.
You know, we bought live streaming equipment. We have it, you know, upstairs here, so we get a real nice view right outside our restaurant entrance. It's up about 5 stairs, and my pro shop is raised up like this as well, so a lot of times I can look out the windows. I call it my skybox. Brian Robinson just came up to say hello. B-Rob, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you, Mr. Larry Lichstein?
I'm fine. And how do you got the shot? What do you think?
I don't try to think too much. That hurts my brain too much, Larry. So,
I understand. I understand, Brian, very well.
But right now, we've had a lot of urethane thrown on our pair, so they're actually getting pretty tight. A lot of 2/8-10s on our pair.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta get it to the right because there's no hole, but you can't just like throw it there, because if you do, it just doesn't want to hook. So you gotta kind of keep your speed and everything correct. And
the transition is starting, right?
yes, it's been especially our pair. Like I said, we've had a lot more urethane. I don't know what the other pairs, what people are throwing, but we've had a lot of urethane, and it's
oh yeah, they're tightening up. You can see it now. I figure the next 2 games is going to be some hold area down there.
Yeah.
I think the scores are going to get very high in game 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely taming down now.
Yeah.
And
I think there's a lot of new bowlers that haven't bowled on this pattern, so they don't know where to play.
No.
So it's a lot of, and this isn't exactly an easy, it's not a house pattern. This is definitely a little tricky. It's there's room, but it's if you get lost, it's easy to be all over the place.
yeah,
so.
we don't want on dead easy. There are some easy patterns that we have, but we started them off a little tougher, just to wake the boys up a little bit and let them know that if you're not sharp, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah. This is definitely, probably, I'd say out of the 4, this is probably the toughest, just because there's no instant hook to the right, and there's no hold, so you got to kind of make sure you stay soft and get it to the right, or throw, like I said, I'm throwing urethane. So.
Yeah. You're throwing urethane tonight? You're throwing the booyah?
I am throwing the booyah. I'm throwing the weaker pin one, so I can really stay on top of it and not have to really, as you like to say, keep your eyes and keep everything in front of you, and just throw the yanker. Well, I'm not yanking it, but it's pretty
to you
straight.
it's a yanker because it's urethane,
it's
right?
Pretty straight, yeah. It's definitely not covering a lot of board.
You got a pin down booyah, you say?
I have a pin in the ring booyah that's a little stronger. If I need something a little more, I might go to that because it'll hook about probably another 5 boards more, actually, surprisingly.
Okay.
But not yet. It's right now. I like this shiny one I'm throwing. So
I got it.
Know, like you said, it might need to move in just a little and open it up, and you know.
I think they're going to shim up pretty good right around now. I think a pearlized ball with a pin up, about 15 to 12, 15 to 11. Try to square it up, not tilt it so much. I don't think you can miss. How's that one for me? Now let's see if you want to shoot 120 after I give you that.
I'll shoot 120 just for you, Larry.
Thank you so much, Brian. Thank you. Thank you.
It's all for you, Larry.
That's my buddy Brian Robinson, PBA regional champion, our house pro here in Morgantown. He's on the 900 global staff. We have several staff members in our league. Of course, Amanda Green's with Ebonite, Brandon Williams with Ebonite, Ashton Johnson with Storm, Justin Malik with Brunswick, Chad Gable, DV8 Brunswick, and we're so honored that the ball companies and grip companies and suppliers have helped sponsor our league. Many of them are with us now for 3 years in a row. I wish I was healthy. I'd love to bowl in this league, but my left shoulder just hasn't recovered. I hurt it 2 years ago, and it stopped me from bowling. Every time I try to bowl, I can't get it loosened up, and I can't sleep, and it aches, and I'm old, and I give up. But I would love to have bowled one more time in my life. It's a perfect opportunity, but unfortunately, the body won't let me. The mind wants to, but the body don't want to answer. Oh boy. A lot of people struggling. Can't miss the one pinners. I keep preaching it over and over and over, and anytime I see a 9 miss, I shiver. You're giving up a triple. Every time you miss a 1-pin spare, you need 3 in a row to make up for it. And it's just, it's a sign of the times. Bowlers live for strikes. They don't focus on spares. But I love Walter Ray's record of like 177 straight one-pin spares in a row before he missed when the PBA was keeping track a few years back. And when I heard that number, I just said that's why he's great. He doesn't give anything away. You can't miss one-pin spares. It is a sin, especially in a match play league like this. Ryan Robinson looking real good with 245 the first game. His team didn't give him much help. He's got 245, and they're not going to break 800. But the team they're bowling is barely breaking 700. So right out of the chute, they got a 100-pin lead on a real good team that just hasn't got lined up. A lot of open frames. Real interesting match in front of us. Todd Yost, who's 83 in the sixth, who was definitely 29 pins down after 6 frames, gets a strike here, and he'll beat Tyler Church. Tyler Church with 194. Yost needs a strike, but it looks like he's lined up. You get points for every game you win, and you get points for total pins. So this is a key shot right here. This is for a win. Pretty good shot. Let's see if it tips up. No, pushed it to the right. Not enough ball. Going to shoot 191 and lose. Made it a battle, but he lost. But this match here is going to go down to 10th frame. Kyle Davey, the young boy, struck to win the match there. Oh, no, not win it. Sorry. He can go 759. No, they can't win. They're going to shoot about 750. They'll lose to Justin Malik's team. Next week, we should have our team shirts for all our bowlers. We use Logo Infusion to supply the league. This is their 3rd year with us. Great, great company out of Las Vegas. Brian Cooper is just a wonderful man. Great senior player. And have been so supportive of us with beautiful shirts for our league. We can't wait to show them off and get everybody dressed up a little. It was real tough for us to get them here in week 1. We wanted to, but by the time we got everybody's sizes and put the order in, we're hoping for next week. Kyle Davey putting some pressure on Justin Malik, who's going to need a strike to win this game right here. 10 in the pit with the BTU Pearl. There it is. That's a win. And that's well over 800. That's a great start on a fairly tough pattern. Amanda Green looks locked in. She's just bowled 237 and really threw every ball the same. What a wonderful game. Fantastic bowler. They shot 803, so she led their team to a win. And, of course, Justin Malik has just led his team to a win. Can strike out for 250. Just piping it right up 10-11 right there with the BTU, not covering a lot of boards. Just throw it right up, not circling the heads. That seems to be the best shot right now. Weak ball right at the pocket. Don't get too deep in the oil, it'll sail. You touch the dry a little early, it'll jump. Weaker ball, you can square up. That's around 7-8. And it read beautifully. 250 out of the chute with a low diff, low RG. Weaker cover. Seems to be great the first game. I expect to see a lot of people in the league go to urethane and paralyzed weaker covers to try and square it up a little. And that one's in around 11. And there's the ring and 10 set up beautiful. Oh, 249. One ball out of the pocket. Pretty much straight up right at him. We cover, don't circle the heads. It looks like that's the shot. Too strong a cover here, getting you in a lot of trouble. Oh, look at big Jason Hutt. Handball leagues in 5 years. He's got that code red sparking off the dry. Really throwing the ball really good. It's 22 in the second. And he went 4-bagger, week 10, triple. So it looks like he's lined up, and he's circling the heads. He's doing the opposite of Justin Malik. Seems to be in the oil, swinging it to the dry, getting the ball to come back real hard, finishing real good. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's throwing the ball good, the big man. Hell of a bowler, from what I understand. This is his first year back in sanctioned competition in many years. Seems like we've drawn some people back that haven't bowled in a while. And between this type of competition and the prize fund, match play, no handicap, I think a lot of bowlers are striving for that across the United States. And I'm just honored to be part of this league. And got this kind of support. I did this in Florida for a number of years before I moved, and talked my owner, Jerry Lorenz, into letting me try it here, and it just seems to be the ticket. It's brought a lot of people out on weekends practicing, buying equipment, changing surfaces, discussing the sport in a much different way in the past when all they had were handicap leagues. And again, we're not against handicap leagues, but scratch bowling has always been the heart of league play in this country, and it seemed to get away for a number of years. And if I have anything to do with it, this bowling center will always have a scratch classic league in it as long as I'm here, and I'm sure our owners feel the same way. Yo.
Yeah.
Boy, Justin's got a fantastic shot with that Pearl BTU. Amazing. I mean, he can go right at him. It doesn't hook early. Pearlized cover, weaker cover. Can square it up, get right on that shim line. And there is a line there, but if the ball's too strong, you got to circle it. He's right on that line, and He's going to be real tough tonight with that reaction. Believe me, he could lead the league. You know, I can't help but think about my my so many friends in Florida. You know, I've lived there for on and off for 18 years, and I'm really thinking about all my friends tonight across the state, and praying somehow that we can get through this horrible weather situation that looks like it's going to really affect South Florida, possibly Southwest Florida. I have a home in Fort Myers, and my son's there, and tonight I'm thinking about everybody, especially my friends on the East Coast, where it looks like this thing's going to hit. And if it does, you know, I'm recalling back to Hurricane Andrew in '92, and I remember what it did to Homestead. My God, it was catastrophic. So tonight, I know everybody's thinking about our friends in Florida. A lot of seniors that I know have retired there on the East and West Coast, people I bowled with all my life. And got a lot of friends down there, Pete Couture and Dave Davis, and Dave Sutar, and Steve Neff, and Ronnie Dixon, and all my friends across the state. I'm thinking about you folks tonight. The great Dave Davis lives in Lake Placid now, the center of the state, south of Sebring, and it looks like that's going to be the path of the hurricane. And I'm just hoping and praying that somehow this thing jogs out to the Atlantic and doesn't hit Georgia or the Carolinas. But boy, it doesn't look good right now. Very scary for all of us that have loved ones and family there. And after what we saw in Houston 3 weeks ago, this is turning out to be a very tragic period in our history. So I'm hoping and praying for everybody tonight, as I'm sure everybody across the country is. And maybe there'll be a miracle and this thing will somehow miss the state and miss our country. But it ain't looking good. Brandon Williams with a triple on 13 and 14, our pro shop manager. Started back at school again at West Virginia U about a month ago, and we're happy to see him get back to school there. Took a year off, and now he's back in college. What a wonderful school. 29,000 college students, all within 3-4 miles of this bowling center, and kids from around the world here, a lot of exchange students, engineering students, med school students, and what a wonderful place to live for young people. Great school. A lot of kids bowl here at night, boy. They get in here after the leagues are over, and the place is packed every weeknight, packed with young people bowling. Very, very wonderful place to work. I'm just honored to be part of the community when I'm here. Ooh. Boy, Brandon, good shot there. Brandon Williams with 4 in a row, trying to get his team with a big lead. Right now they've got about a 150-pin lead on their opponents, and their opponents are not bowling well. This is so important to get out of the chute on night one with a big score and a lot of points, because it's all about momentum in something like this. You get out of the chute real good, you're a little looser the next week. You know, if you're down the bottom, 14th, 15th, and you've been bowling bad, it's kind of tough to pump it up. But that's why we change the pattern every 9 weeks, because we have found that by doing that, in the first 2 years of the league, only one team won twice. Out of the 4 winners in the first year, and the 4 winners in the second year, out of 8 potential winners, we had 7 winners and 1 team won twice. So we try to have parity, change the patterns, and see who the strongest is each 9-week segment and for the year. Nice first game there, Justin.
Thanks, Hoss.
Throwing that Pearl BTU, laying it right up, not covering a lot of boards. It looks great.
There is an over-under.
Oh, there's an over-under. There's no
And
doubt
if you're
about
watching, I see some good games, but I see some real bad ones bouncing back and forth.
Yeah.
Strike, open,
Yeah.
double,
Yeah.
split.
it. Yeah, well, that's that 40-foot pattern with the transition. You bumped the dry a little quick with too aggressive a ball. Good luck to you.
I throw urethane on this all last year. I'm doing it again this year.
Yeah. Is that ball 100% urethane now?
No, that's that hybrid with the pearl cover.
But it's got urethane in it?
Yes.
It does. It does. Boy, does that thing look great.
Yeah. And it hits hard.
It hits very hard. That ball rolls great. Tyler Church started with 4 in a row. He's throwing a burgundy hammer. It looks like that's much more controllable. Get a hybrid urethane. Oh my God. How about that messenger on lane 15 with a full roller? When in my day and age, when you threw a full roller, the pins couldn't do that no matter who you were. Everybody went to a semi-roller because they said full rollers wouldn't hit. Well, that one just hit. Like an absolute cannon. Unbelievable. Two-handed, resin, full roller. Yep, a lot of struggling. This 40-foot pattern, although it looks easy, if you got the wrong ball in your hand and you're playing the wrong zone, you can forget it. I believe now, after watching when Brandon Williams went to a black hammer urethane, started with 4 in a row. Justin Williams 249, the BTU, or Justin Malik with the BTU, and then this young boy Tyler Church with the burgundy hammer. It seems like these guys are going to have to ball down and definitely go with urethane for minimal adjustments. The resin balls are just squirting everywhere, and with that carry down, pair to pair, they're all different. All different. Charlie, I'm going to bring Charlie Gadd up here. He has a home in West Virginia and he lives in Southwest Florida. I'm going to get him over here. I got my good friend coming over here, Charlie Gadd, who I've known for well over 40 years. So tell me about the situation in Southwest Florida. What are we looking at here?
Well, I've been watching the weather reports and everything, and they say all of them are saying the same thing. They don't know anything. They probably won't know anything until Friday night.
And where do you live there in the winter?
West Palm Beach.
You live in West Palm, and it looks like it's heading right there.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to hit right over. Yeah, the way they have it, the models are showing that right now.
Yes, they are.
Well, last year, this time, there was another hurricane. It was supposed to do the same thing, but it went 50 miles out.
Well, we're all praying for that.
Yeah, so.
Oh, am I praying for that?
Yeah.
I've got so many friends there that, you know, I've known, of course, the years I've lived there. A lot of retirees that I've, you know, met in different parts of the United States and all went there. And it scares me to death.
Oh, it's
Got
scary.
my son there, you know, and boy, it's nerve-wracking watching this damn thing for the last 4 days.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like it. 180-mile-an-hour winds, Cat 5 in the Atlantic. I mean, that's...
well, not only that, the eye of the storm is like 50 miles wide.
Yeah.
Usually it's in the 20s.
Yeah, it's
Around
insane.
20 to 25 miles.
Things the size of the
Twice
state
as
of
large.
Texas.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And there's 2 more behind us. That's the thing that's even more nerve-wracking is, you know, if they escape this one, they got back-to-backers coming at them. It reminds me of 2005 when it was one every 3 weeks coming right out of Africa in the same spot. It's just shooting right out of there at us.
I didn't see the second one or the third one that you're mentioning.
Yep.
You've got Irma, then there was a
Jose, and now
right
there's
behind
another
it.
one behind Jose.
Oh, because there was another one in Mexico. It was
Oh, maybe that's the one.
Cadiz or something.
Okay, maybe that's the one. I haven't looked at the Weather Underground, which I usually look at
Yeah,
and get on a computer, but
that one's in the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to hit Mexico.
oh, it's scary. I hate it. I hate it. You know, I was following the great David Ozio was putting a lot on Facebook about Beaumont, and you know, and
That's
then
right.
there's
He lives in Beaumont.
he lives in Beaumont, and there was a young girl there that I knew many years ago named Travis. Now I haven't seen Travis in 25 years, but I remember her as a kid. She was a very good bowler, and I had a picture of her with her husband and 2 kids, and they lost everything. And I knew Travis. You know, in the 80s, they lost everything.
Yeah.
Their house is gone.
Yeah.
And I wonder how many people I know down there that haven't heard about yet. That's what scares me about this Florida situation. Is
Well, I stayed there for the one in June of '05, and it felt like the roof was going to come off 3 times.
it did.
Oh yeah, it was. I said I'll never stay through another hurricane.
Yeah,
again, you know.
I remember her, you know, Andrew, you know, we bowled in Homestead the winter tour of '92, and then that thing hit in October. Then we came back in the summer of '93, they rebuilt it. And I remember when we got there, that town looked nothing like it did a year earlier. You know, we got there a year later, although everything on the street was gone. Somehow they rebuilt the bowling center within a year.
Yeah. Where was that, Larry?
That was Don Carter Homestead.
Oh, Homestead. Yeah.
On Route
Okay.
1,
Yeah.
you know, right before the entrance to the
Yeah.
Keys. Not far, you know, when you take the causeway out to the Keys.
Yeah.
And that thing there was a horrible.
Was that Andrew?
Whoa! He almost, look, Zach Anser almost made the 4, 6, 7, 10 on lane 14, slid it over. That was Hurricane Andrew. Yeah,
That
that's.
was '92. I was
Yeah.
down there then.
Were you there?
Yeah, and I was north of that, West Palm Beach. That hit kind of through Miami and it went across to the Gulf.
Yeah,
Went over
that was horrible.
Fort Myers and Naples.
Yeah,
But this one's supposed to turn north and head straight up
right to East
through
Coast.
through the East Coast. Yeah.
Jeez. What that'll do to the East Coast of Florida, I don't even want to know.
Oh, it's
I mean, if it goes from there up to St. Augustine
heavy.
and tears up 300 miles of the coast, forget it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way that state could stand that. That's the tourist area. All the retirees living in 300 miles, you're talking 2-3 million people are going to be homeless if that thing happens.
North of me is Port St. Lucie. That's
Yeah.
a lot of retirement
Yeah.
community up there.
Yeah. It's scary. It's scary.
Yeah, I keep watching it reports because Amanda Green just got a strike. Huh?
Yeah, Amanda Green throws it great. She missed the pocket twice the first game. This game is a little trickier now. You know, the scores are not high, and I didn't think they would be on the 40. This is a tough shot. It's not a sports shot. There are some pairs you get lined up right, you can do well, but a lot of these people on bowled all summer, they got a rude awakening. You know, of course, we put the toughest shot out first just to wake them up a little. They get easier as the year goes on.
Now, is this the new oil?
Yeah, this is current. This is Kegel current oil.
It's a little more viscosity to it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You can see a lot of people shaking their heads. Well, now they know. You shoot 2,300, 2,350. You could have a great night with that score. You don't have to average 200 on this to make a lot of points. Got to make your spares. Key is stay out of trouble somehow.
Is this a 3-game?
Yes, 3 games. Points for each game win. Points for series win. Points for team game win. Team series win. It's 64-point total. I'll be breaking those down next week when we stream.
Les is always winding on that ball, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got one shot.
Yeah, he's
hit it hard and hit it harder.
I see you have some new faces here. I guess
Oh,
they come from Fairmont.
Well, we got people here from Maryland, from south of here, and some people from Pennsylvania. How do you like the way a red hammer reacts from in there? See that?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, he switched to that ball, and it just lays right there, doesn't overhook, gets down the lane.
I would have guessed it was a code red. The code red seems to be a good ball.
Code red. Jason Hutt's throwing a code red on lane 17, and had a big first game. I like this kid throwing a two-handed full roller right here.
Oh,
Amazing.
Is that a full roller?
That's a full roller.
That is amazing.
It just lays right there too, and it's revving.
Because Justin. He just blew out the 10 pin with a Brooklyn strike. Justin.
Sometimes that's what you gotta have. You gotta have a little luck, a little skill, a little drive, and a little money.
You know, yes. Well, bowling's not like what it used to be. You come to bowling alley with 1 or 2 bowling balls.
Yeah.
You have it's just added to the factors of bowling. There's a lot of factors out there to bowl today.
I think a lot of people are shocked because this is not a forgiving condition here, and they hadn't been that sharp. You know, so used to bowling on something where you can spray it, and all of a sudden tonight you can forget that. And what I like though is everybody's fighting because they know it's total pins. You can't give anything away. You're not getting rewarded to miss. You know, every pin counts.
It's a very competitive league.
Oh, it's very competitive.
I just came back from North Carolina, Charlotte. I bowled in
Oh, you bowled at George Pappas's this weekend?
PBA
Did Walter
50.
Ray won his 103rd tournament?
Walter Ray won.
He beat Steve Jones, my dear friend from Maryland.
Yes.
What a fantastic bowler. What a wonderful, wonderful man. Steve Jones and I go back to the match against him and Mark Roth in 1975 at King Louis West when he shot 248 the championship game and Roth shot 299. And Steve was living in Kansas City at that time. You talk about what a game, what a fantastic game. Wonderful man. And every once in a while I run into him and we reminisce. And I drilled his ball when he won the, I know he won in 77 in Alameda. I don't know if it was AC Delco or Miller Lite. I don't remember what it was, but he beat Holman. And Holman had a terrible temper tantrum that day after he lost. And Steve is just a consummate professional. Glad he got to bowl a title match. Of course, when you bowl Walter Ray, you pretty much know that you better have your strike shoes on if you're bowling him in a title game.
Yeah, absolutely. He led the field. He was plus 350, first place for qualifying. And
yeah.
The next guy down was, I think, 195.
Really? You know, he was here. Were you here when he was here, Walter Ray?
Yeah, but I didn't get to talk to him.
Yeah. Oh, okay, go ahead. Oh, we had a scoring issue there. My technical representative, Brandon Williams, is here. He used to work for ABC Sports with Chris Schenkel, and then he came to work for me. Poor devil.
Took over for Nelson Burton.
Took over for Nelson Burton. Well, we got Tyler Church right up here on the first six, throwing a burgundy hammer from in. Let's see what he does. Right over the fourth arrow. Watch this get back. Yeah, there is a shot in there with. There is a shot in there with a hybrid urethane. How about that one for the first seven on a tough shot? Maybe we'll get a chance to see 300. What's really interesting is Justin Malik's team, after the first game, had about a 120 pin lead on this team. And all of a sudden now, the lead is down to about 80. And with if these two guys on the bottom strike, it's down to 50 or 40. So what we have is a very interesting third game coming up for Total Wood. They're definitely taming down a little now. I expect the last game to be the highest game, but we'll see. on, carry. Atta boy, first 8. Look at that on a tough pair. Moved in, 4th arrow. Throwing the burgundy hammer. Okay, we've got a very interesting match now because Malik's team definitely had a big lead, and well, that was a key strike for Chris Rowe's team. All right, automatically now with that strike, puts them ahead about 90 pins with 2 frames to go. Morgantown Scratch Classic. Facebook. Oh boy. Oh, did he catch a break there? He caught a break because I'll tell you what, if he opens there and this boy gets the next one, this total series tightens right up. It's so important to get a good score on this. 2,400 on this is like 2,700, you know, in a high scoring house. 2,400 is a great number on this pattern. That's obvious now. You just can see it. There's just nothing there. Tyler Church with the first 9. Ho, ho, ho. We got a barn burner now. Oh boy. Well, let's just tighten that match up. Now this kid, Kyle Davey right here throws a strike. This match is literally tied. Unbelievable. Doesn't take much. 5-bagger to a couple misses, and there's 60, 70 pins. Nope. And a chance to really close the gap there. Oh my God. Okay, here we go. Got a chance for 300 on an extremely tough evening for scoring. And this goes to show you there's always somebody that finds a way. And let's see if this young man can carry 3 times in a 10th for 300, which is, on this pattern, absolutely remarkable. Let's see what he does. It was a good shot. Come on. Nope. Got a little right. All right, still a great game. Got a chance for 270. Great game, 273 on an extremely tough pattern, a 6 and a 7 and a 10th. But he made the spare, that alone is a miracle. Put his team right back in the match. Right now, Amanda Green and Brandon Williams' team is looking real good on 13 and 14. She's as solid as a rock, that girl. She's going to be tough all year, especially on this real tough pattern. Scores are tough, Brian, tonight.
I know.
I don't see anybody shooting 2,500 on this unless it's a miracle.
Nah, there's just nothing really to throw it to. Now all of a sudden there's hook in the track. You get it right in the track, it wobbles, and if you get right at that, it hooks. So it's very, there's a lot of hook, but it's not in the right place, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of just trying to blend it out and try to get something to lay there. Oh, go back right there.
Hook, but not in the right place. Now, that to me, that's 1972 and 1973, the years that got me to the truck and got me off the lanes. The hook was in the middle, and when I bellied, it sailed. And Larry was gone and became a ball driller. That's all it took.
Well,
very tough condition right now.
You made a good living at it, so that's all. That's, you know, that.
But I spent it all. I have nothing. But I lived good.
Did you spend it on hair products? Or?
Yes, I spent it on hair products and a lot of cars.
A lot of cars. Oh shoot.
Gary Meliti's struggling. Worst I've ever seen him bowl. Oh my God.
You put the Boberg kiss of death on it because you complimented him earlier.
He was throwing it so good in practice. It's typical, you know. I say something to them and they freeze after that.
It happens, Larry.
I know. I know. Well, Chris Freeland's team on 17 and 18 is going to be over 1,600 for their first 8 games, which is really good bowling. Justin Malik's team at 16-23 on 15 and 16 for the first 8. And Not much scoring after that. Pretty low night. What's your team got for total, Brian, the first two?
I don't know.
Are you over 1,600 the first two?
Oh, yeah. We've been bowling pretty good. We had a 230, a 2-0, a 230, and a 217, so we had a lot of big scores.
You might have high pinfall for the night.
We've been striking a lot, so Randall's got a good look. Randall and I are throwing urethane. Ross is just being real soft with it and just letting it roll, and Dave's just kind of trying to jam it between first and second arrow, and so far it's looked pretty good. I think the big thing is I told my team, I saw in practice they were just tighter, so I said, everybody just play right, and we should have a pretty good look, and we've just chased it slightly, and it's just been good.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. Weaker balls, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm throwing, both Randall and I are throwing urethane. Barry doesn't have a lot of hands, so he's using a little bit stronger ball, and Ross is being pretty soft with a little bit stronger ball. It's got some games on it, but yeah, for the most part, just nothing too crazy. Not a lot of surface. Just trying to play straight and just kind of use the hold on the lane and understand it. You know what? Just trying to hit the pocket on a consistent basis is a good goal. We're not trying to look for the 250 ball reaction. You know what I mean? We're looking to just
I think the key here is make your spares try to catch a double, and just don't give any open frames. Don't give any frames away. Yeah. It's so frustrating when bowlers are used to striking a lot. All of a sudden, it's a spare shooting contest, and that's when you usually don't bowl well if you miss your spares.
Right.
No excuse. No excuse.
I agree, and I think next week you'll see the scores be a little better. I think guys will have a better idea. They won't be all over the place. I think sometimes the first night you're just kind of, unless you bowled on this, I think the people that have bowled on it have an advantage this first week just because they know what to expect. They know what the transition's like.
Yeah.
But the guys that are new and everything, like Chad Gable's a good bowler.
Chad Gable's an excellent bowler.
He hasn't shot 200 the first two
I know.
games.
That surprised me because as good as he is, but then again, he's never bowled here, and this is a tricky house, especially when there's a flatter pattern and not a lot of hold.
Yeah, absolutely, and I agree 100%, Larry. And I think he's got it figured out now. He's got a three-bagger. He's going to give me a run for my money. But I think he's smart enough. He'll eventually figure it out.
He'll figure it out.
It's just a matter of this pattern. Just I even told him in the beginning because he asked me. I said, this pattern's just a little tricky. Don't expect to be it's going to be completely wide open. You just got to kind of just kind of hang in there and just know that the transition's a little tricky and
yeah.
Gotta.
You're watching this two-handed boy Davey with a full roll. You see that ball?
That looks pretty good.
I know it looks good. He could be a good bowler. He works on a few things.
Absolutely. Yeah, just gotta hang in. Everybody's just gotta hang in there.
Yep. Oh, Chris Freeland, lane 17, making him look easy tonight. Led the league in average last year. Put this game out for 280 on a shot that no one can strike on. Amazing. No one can strike. He's over 500 the first two, so obviously there's something there if you pure it. Just got to make good shots here. That's what 280 looks like on a tough pattern, folks. So 2 bowlers in the second game. Tyler Church with a 273. And Chris Freeland with a chance for 280. Obviously, there's something there when you look around. See a man with 7, 8, 9, 10 in a row, then what you got to do is you got to learn from it. Try to line up off them, see what they're doing. That's 280, great game. That's really good bowling. I think the bowlers appreciate what that score really means out there. A lot of people clapping for a 280. Normally, you wouldn't hear a word. But when they're this tough, 280 is a big one. Chad Gable with a 5-bagger out of the chute after shooting about 320 the first two. So it looks like a few of the people are figuring it out. It's going to be a long 9 weeks for some of these teams, I can tell you that right now. If they don't ball down, get the right equipment in their hand, they're going to be struggling. Looks like you got to be real straight through the front, urethane, or a very weak pin, weak cover, resin, and just roll up. Not a lot of flare. And it's just the straighter you go, the better it looks like it's going to be. Although Tyler Church hooking that burgundy hammer would prove that wrong. And so would Freeland. They're hooking the ball. They've got some touch. That's all I know. They're not easy. And those guys made them look easy. Boys, he got some shot with that ball. Amazing. Wow. Definitely urethane. Brian Robinson strikes bare four-bagger, and that ball's just laying right in the track. That booyah. Yeah, looks like we might be selling a few of those in the next week or two. Get some pitch blacks, some tanks, some hammers, some BTU pearls, and square everybody up. Get them to throw the ball a little straighter through the front. Matt Reck out of Beckley on 13 and 14. Just got out of the junior programs. Wonderful young man. Coached down there in Beckley by Steve Lichleiter, a dear friend of mine. Probably one of the best bowlers ever to come out of West Virginia. Turned out to be a great coach, wonderful man. Matt is just a pleasure to be around. We hired him. He runs our service counter in the evenings. Goes to West Virginia U, bowls. Just a wonderful young boy. And he's right up in front of Brandon Williams with key strike right here to keep these guys in the match. Great shot with Amanda Green to follow. That's going to be a tough team right there. With Matt and Brandon as a C and a B and Amanda as an A, that's going to be a team that's going to be real tough this this segment. Great shot by Amanda. She can play. Just a great touch. Wonderful young girl. Just honored to have her with us. I'll tell you, some of the women are so impressive that I've watched on their telecast on CBS in recent weeks. And the young girl from Poland, I can't think of her last name, but she's fantastic. We're trying to get her here for an exhibition for 900 Global. Just a wonderful young girl, and if somebody had told me 10 years ago that a girl from an Eastern European country might be becoming the best woman bowler on the tour, I would not have bet on that. It just goes to show you how the world of bowling's changed, obviously, you know, with Belmonte being the best male from Australia, and this young girl being PWBA Rookie of the Year and leading the Women's U.S. Open and losing to Liz Johnson, which is nothing to be ashamed of. It's just amazing to see how the gap has closed from the foreign players, where, you know, this country dominated literally since the advent of the pin setter, and all of a sudden the last 7, 8, 9 years, more and more foreign players, Francois Lavoie, and then of course Jesper Svensson and Belmonte and Guerrero on the ladies tour, and this young lady from Poland. And it's wonderful to see kids dedicating themselves to bowling worldwide. For me now, in my 60th year of being involved in the sport of bowling, it's thrilling for me to see them have that fire and desire that I once had as a young kid. And I sure hope I continue to see what I've seen in recent, especially this past year, in the world of professional bowling. Our telecasts are exciting. PBA has done a great job. PWBA is fantastic. And college bowling is great to watch. We're hoping that the sport has bottomed out as far as the loss of bowlers, and we regroup and see an increase in sanctioned league bowlers and scratch tournaments worldwide. All of a sudden, this team with Kyle Davey and that open there by Todd Yost has got this match even. They had a 120 pin lead after the first game. Now they have a chance to lose total pins, which is worth 10 points. And that's why it's a league you can't give up in, even though how frustrating it is. You've got to stay positive, fight for every pin, because you never know 4 or 5 weeks from now what can happen. Amanda Green just carrying her team. I love it. And she's the first woman bowler in this league that's going to give every man a run for their money. And I was hoping I would. Hi, how are you? How you doing? I was hoping I would see this because we needed to have a real good young star come to Morgantown and be part of our bowling community here. And this young lady moved here, and she's definitely a player, solid as a rock. Who? Huh? Oh yeah, who? Oh, I see. It's Sean and Nolan Dalton. I'll tell him. I'll tell him next week.
Live footage of all this.
Yeah, we're streaming right now.
Oh, awesome.
On Facebook. This is a very tough shot. This is called a sport. It's not a sport shot, but this is not a house shot. So these lane conditions right now are a lot tougher for a lot of people. Because that's what they want. They want them tough. They don't want them easy. It's a competitive league. There's no handicap.
Oh, really?
It's scratch bowling. And you're on your own, and it's match play. Each bowler's bowling their opponent lined up next to their name. So MT is bowling CR, CC is bowling LB. Points, total pin points, team points.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very competitive. And the prize fund for 36 weeks in this league, prize money payout, $57,000.
Oh, my God. Watkins, yeah.
$57,000 payout over 36 weeks.
And you're watching all this, huh?
I'm putting it on Facebook for the Morgantown Scratch Classic. I'm doing a little announcing this evening. And we've got some viewers, a lot of people watching.
You want me to go down there and jump around and yell?
No, you can you make yourself comfortable. As long as you're enjoying yourself, that's all that counts.
That's all that counts. Huh?
That's it. We're very relaxed here at Suburban. We don't
what I like to do is just take like a 16-pound ball
and
just throw it as hard as I can right down the middle and hope for the best.
You want to throw it and hope for the best?
Yeah, that's about how I do it.
Well,
I get like a 140 and I'm happy.
As soon as this league is over, you may get a 16-pound ball. You may go down on lane 15 and 16, and you may chuck it down the middle and hope for the best.
A lot of spares being picked up here.
Yep, yep.
Oh, this guy here is getting all the action. He's on right in the middle of your.
Yeah, we're featuring these 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So each week, different teams will be bowling in front of us. There's 16 teams in the league. And very competitive league, and some real good bowlers in it. That young girl right there, Amanda.
Yeah,
She's a PWBA champion, won on CBS Sports a year ago.
God, really?
On CBS.
This girl right here, right?
Yes, she's going to school here, and she's a native West Virginian, and she's a PWBA champion, a professional champion.
That's awesome.
And she's going to law school here, and just entered WVU, and she's joined the league, and we're honored to have her. And she's good enough to beat every man in the league, believe me.
It.
Oh, believe me. She can strike in her sleep.
I believe it.
Oh, yeah.
She's a natural.
Yep, she's a natural. Boy, they tough. You ain't alone. But you want to hear the payoff? Every team's going to have that happen.
And when I hit the pocket, I haven't carried.
Yeah. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Every team's going to have that. There's no team can average 200 on this shot.
For my first double of this game,
Yeah.
it was my 5th and 6th strikes of the night.
Yeah.
It's been good.
Yeah, you're not alone. What's going to happen?
I'm not alone.
What's going to happen is the team's going to get out of the box with a couple of 220s and shoot, 860 one night, the first 4, and then they're going to have their night.
Oh yeah.
Because no one can keep the pace up on this. They're impossible. Whoa.
Get your kid to Atlanta?
No, they're morons. I'm doing.
They'll stay down
They're
there?
retarded, both of them. You know what she says to me today? I went out and I got sandbags. I says, what?
What the
I
fuck
says,
sandbags gonna do
I
with that
said,
180
I
mile
said,
an hour winds?
what are you talking about? I says, what did you just say to me? Well, we went and got sandbags. I says, sandbags? A mile from the Coosahatchee River that's going to overflow if it hits at the wrong place.
How many sandbags they allow?
And I said there, you
You'll
think
need a
there was
fucking
any
dumpster.
sandbags in Houston, Kathleen? Well, I don't appreciate. I says, Kathleen, do as you choose. I've been talking to you since Monday. I says, I asked you to leave yesterday morning. I told you I'd pay your expenses. Give me the fucking receipts to the room. Send them to me. I'll pay for the hotel. I'll send you a little extra fucking money. And you still couldn't get in your car and drive 300 miles north? So you could get to I-10 and go east or west, depending on
Watch
where.
that motherfucker on Weather Channel.
You watching this fucking thing? Let me tell you something. Right
I'm
now,
telling you what, you need to go over fucking tomorrow and just FedEx her a fucking life jacket.
there's nothing I can do, Nolan. I'm dealing with somebody who's mentally ill.
Yeah, that ain't even good. You know, I'll tell you how bad it is. That buddy of mine, I don't know if you've ever met Bobby. Bobby was down there a couple times, worked on the car. They was putting that fire bottle and shit all in there. But anyway, Bobby and them's at Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
They told them today.
Yeah, get out.
That they need to start.
Get out.
By Tuesday, they're going to start evacuating Myrtle Beach.
Yeah. These people live in a fantasy world. And you would think if they just pulled it up online and said pictures of Hurricane Andrew, you know, pictures of Hurricane Katrina, maybe they'd get the idea.
They said this one's going to be worse.
I know it is. It's been worse. There is no hurricane that's ever had 185-mile winds in the Atlantic where it was.
Stayed.
Yeah, it stayed. And the other thing is, I don't know why they think their house is impregnable. I said to my wife, I said, let me ask you a question, Kathleen. If the roof blows off, what are you going to do? You going to hide in the bathroom under your mattress? I says, have you got any idea what you're doing? Now, you know what? There's nothing I can do, though. I'm dealing with people that are fucking ill.
They make fun of West Virginia, but I wouldn't
Oh,
trade
no,
our
no.
fucking mountains
Let
for any
me
of that
tell you
fucking
something.
shit.
Anybody that makes fun of anybody and then lives in a fucking hurricane is mentally ill. Take my fucking word for it. I don't give a shit how much money they got and how smart they think they are over us. They ain't smart living in that. I'm sorry.
They're about as bad as fucking Tornado Alley in Oklahoma.
Forget about it.
Somewhere,
How's
somehow.
Mike feeling? How's Mike doing? Is he better?
Lance? Oh, Mike. Yeah. He painted my old, you should see my old log truck.
I want to see the log truck. I'm in no hurry. You know, I pulled the front end out on that with a puller, you know, myself with a Jeep and a rope. If I take that bumper off, Noah, and I fool around with it for an hour, I'll have that motherfucker looking like it was never in an accident. I don't even care. I was so panicky after the accident, that's when I called you.
Yeah.
Then when I got here, I started fiddling with it. From 20 feet away, you don't know it was in an accident. That's just fooling around with a rope and a Jeep.
Yep. And a one-man band.
And a one-man band. Yeah, I don't want to bother him because when you told me he was hospitalized.
Well, he's doing good.
What I'll do is when I'm ready, and I can leave it up there for a while, and put him back to work where it's not inconvenience and he can do it. And if we wait until the spring, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You know, I'll get him in May when he needs a few extra dollars. I don't care. Gee, I would have went. I was looking to go Saturday, but G never called me. I'll tell you something. I slept the whole weekend. I feel better. What about this Saturday? You racing?
The Knob's got a Friday night show and a Saturday night show.
You going to the Knob?
Yeah, going to the Knob.
Well,
you working? That's what I was going to ask you. You working Saturday morning?
Saturday morning, yes. But I'm out of here. My day ends at 4 Saturday, and I'm trying to not work Sunday, which would be fucking great. I just need a little time, you know, for myself. I'll tell you, them 3 days in bed didn't hurt me. I mean, I was out of it. Nolan, all I did is sleep for 3 days.
Yeah.
I was just out of it. I'm old. I got burned out. You know, I lost my strength level, and I said, that's it. Time to rest. And the scores are low on this pattern. I'll tell you, shoot 2,300 on this, you could take 60 points.
They could have won our two. I was high man on our team at 561.
Yeah, well, it's that way down there, too. I mean, there's a few strings, but I'll tell you one thing, they're not easy. They're not easy. They're extremely tough, and it ain't going to take much this 9-week segment. Key is you got to keep the team together after a bad week. What you got to do is pump them up a little and just say, hey, you know, we shoot 24-50 and take 60 points. We're right back in the hunt. That's all it is. You know, just got to wait and try to get it. So how's your dad? How's Gerald? How's everybody?
Good.
Everybody good up the house?
Yep.
Family, everybody good, right? Good.
Yep. He had that damn flu problem for 2 months. Couldn't get rid of it. But
Oh,
he
fuck
finally
that.
kicked it. He finally kicked it finally.
Yeah.
A lot of new people bowling this year. And
Oh, yeah. I knew it would happen. You know, some are going to stay, some are going to go. But for this kind of extra money, this kind of competition, and the fact that it's run right, you know, it's fair. You know, everybody has a chance. And you just got to suck it up and wait. Some teams get a slow start and a fast finish.
Well, bud, I'll see you Tuesday.
All right, Nolan. Was I on the air talking like that? Oh my God. I gotta be careful. I didn't realize I was still on the air. That's not smart. Corey Stump has a question. Who will break the state record? Prize fund? I can't read it. Hold on a minute. Let's see if I can get this question. Not too good, but let me see if I can get it. Who was the best bowler to match up tonight? I thought Amanda Green was real close. Chris Freeland right now, definitely automatically. He's going to shoot 740 on something that's virtually impossible. And yes, we broke the state record for highest prize fund at $57,000 for a 36-week season. So it can be done, and I believe it can be done nationwide. And I believe there are promoters and league bowlers in every city that can get together and make this happen. This is not because of Larry Lichstein. This is not because of anything other than the fact that these people in this league want to bowl scratch, they want to put up some money, and they want to see who the best is under pressure. And with a good league promoter, a great proprietor, this can happen nationwide. There are people like me in every city that have the same desire, that are sick and tired of bowling failing and bowling being laughed at, and scratch bowling is the only way to prove who the best are. You're not going to prove it in a handicap league. It is impossible to prove who the best bowlers are in a handicap league, because you get rewarded for failure, and as far as I'm concerned, that's fine. But it doesn't indicate who the best bowlers are. And this sport needs to have that happen in every city. We need to know who they are at every level. Right now there are D bowlers in this league that average under 200 that are better than B bowlers who can't win in the 10th. There are D bowlers who, against their own skill level, are better in the 10th frame than B bowlers who can't strike in the 10th, because it's all about points and winning your game. So the key is, I'm watching who the best Ds are tonight, because to me they're the most important bowler in the league. Because if you get a D that gives up and averages 160, the A's can't carry him. But if you get a D that averages 195, then the A's obviously don't have the burden of carrying a D. So your lower average bowlers in this league are really the key to a good team. And I firmly believe that. Right now, the best D in the league is probably Dave Rossi. He practices 40 games a week, and he's a D. He is a D average. He's just retired. Last Saturday, he bowled 20 games. You know, the guy's working on his game every Saturday. To me, that's so important. You can't come in and bowl 3 games a week and expect the wall of China. You got to work for it. And if you can't work for it, then stay in a handicap league and get rewarded for failing, which is fine too. You know, if that's what you need. But this league's a little different. This league wakes you up a little bit and brings out your weaknesses immediately, and you have to decide how hard do you want to work, what do you want to do in order to win. And that's, to me, that's the American way. What do you want to do to win? You want to complain, give up, bowl 3 games a week? Or you want to practice, come out on Saturday and Sunday, work on your game, come in, bowl a few extra games on a tough pattern, learn how to make some tough spare conversions, and continue to, in essence, be devoted to the game. Don't think the game owes you anything. It's the other way around. You want to get good, you got to master the game. Well, look at this game going into the 10th frame on 15 and 16. 3-pin difference with Malik on a strike and Davey on a spare. 3-pin difference. Davey's got a strike. He's got to throw a strike here, put the pressure on Malik to make a good shot and get a spare. Great shot, week 10, strong rev rate, really good shot. Now Justin gets a strike, they win total. This one ball is a 10-point ball right here. That's how critical this league is. Of the 64 points, this is 10 points right here. Oh my God. He got it in the oil. He ate 10. Oh my God. Now Davey's got to make the spare. He makes a spare. This shot here is worth 10 points right here. A 10-point shot right now. We'll see if this kid's got it. He ain't missed a spare the whole game. He's made every one pinner. And this is in the corner. He better not make a mistake. In the gutter. Oh my God, look what he just did. He blew the game. That's an 11-pin miss, would have been 23.94. And Justin was at, they would have tied. Spare strike would have tied. He missed a 1-pinner. There you go. Inexperienced, young, got up. All of a sudden, needs a 10-pin to win series. It's an 11-pin miss, 23.83 to 23.94. It just cost his team, 10 points because you can't make a 10-pin. Well, that's why they call it 10-pin bowling. You got to fill frames. You don't fill frames, you lose. And that's the nature of scratch bowling. And he'll learn because he's real good. And that's going to haunt him tonight. He's going to go home and ask himself.
Hell of a purse tonight.
Yeah, hell of a purse. A lot of money, bro.
Oh, my God.
$57,000 in this prize fund.
I'm going to hit the shot.
All right. $57,000 prize fund in this league for 36 weeks. A lot of money. The most highest paying league in the history of West Virginia.
I'll say.
Oh, yeah.
Never heard of that here.
Oh, no, not here. You heard of it now.
Like it.
Yeah,
like it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to watch. Yeah, as the years have gone by, and I tell people about my career as a young man, in Hartford, there was a scratch league every night of the week, and in Springfield, every night of the week, in 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, and that taught you how to bowl in the 10th frame. And it also taught you to never give up. And even though most people can't relate to that anymore, they're relating to it now, right here. This is no different than what it was 50 years ago. You're on your own, you got no help. If you can't mark the 10th, you got a problem. If you open the 10th, you're not going to win in a lot of cases, and you just saw it. Young boy bowled a great game, needs to make a 10-pin, throws it in the gutter. His team loses total. Now he's got to drive home thinking about it. And that's what bowling should be. And I'm hoping there's somebody listening that understands it, especially outside of West Virginia. Because if we don't do it as a sport, we are making a grave mistake if we don't make scratch bowling in league play in every city in this country important. Every city should have at least one quality scratch league. And if we can do it here, it can be done anywhere.
Keep up the good work, man.
Okay, we're going to wait for this pair to finish on 17 and 18, and we'll probably be live streaming in a few weeks. Maybe next week. We'll post it if we decide to. We would like to thank everybody who watched tonight. And remember, if you want to come out and watch the league next Thursday, we start at 7:15. It's a great league to watch, very competitive. A lot of real good bowlers bowling, and you can learn a lot by watching. See who performs, who doesn't. Try to learn from it. It's like Chris Freeland tonight. Got a chance for about 740 on a real tough condition, but lo and behold, this game he's losing to Mike Sipple, who got lined up, who can go out for 279 on 17 and 18. So the A bowlers seem to have found a way, many of them, to strike on this condition. The C's and D's are struggling a little more, obviously, but it's a long year. It's going to have ebbs and tides. And we'll see where we are in 8 more weeks. I'm going to give you my 8-week prediction right now that Chris Freeland's team could very well win the league, with Brian Robinson's team and Justin Malik's team being real tough. Those 3 teams right now look like they're prepared for this shot. This first 9-week segment, but again, it's a long year and a long 9 weeks. We'll see.
Tried to lose the last game, Haas.
Amanda looks great. Did you see those shots? How about her speed control?
Yeah.
Her speed control
is great.
Is absolutely, her release, rev control, speed control is precision. Yeah. Fun to watch. The only way you really know it is on something like this, because then you see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the house shots you can't see it. Chris Freeland bowled fantastic tonight. I think he's got about 750. Just seen his shots tonight, Brandon. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I don't think he had an open. I think he's clean going into the 10th. Imagine how tough that is on this.
Yeah. This definitely isn't easy. I thought the scores were pretty low.
Oh, they're low.
So the high score is going to be like 2,500, 2,550.
Yeah. Well, we're going to shut it down. We're going to wait for Mike Sipple here to see if he goes off for 279, which will bail his set out. Total pins count. You get points. Great shot there. Oops. Got it to the dry a little quick. I thought it would hold, and forget about it. Boy, they're tough. They're tough. I think Freeland's about 750. That's crazy. It ain't that easy.
No.
He's just deadlocked in. Until I put the kiss of death on it. He went 29 clean frames. And Larry said Chris is clean for the night. Wonderful. Wonderful, Larry. Okay, everybody, I want to thank you all for listening, and we'll be talking to you soon. We should have some guests in the booth as the year goes on. I know we're going to have a lot of ball reps here, different people here, different sponsors, and it's a long year. I want to thank all of you for listening, and again to my friends in Florida, we're praying for all of you, and hoping that our country can survive this. God bless all of you. Have a good evening.
Your strike ball is for $9. Green ticket, last three numbers, 987. 987. Next ticket is 055. 055. Last ticket 037. 037.
Bye.